Okay, this is a book review on Their Eyes Were Watching God by Zora Neale Hurston. To start, originally in her day, she wasn't really recognized by her contemporaries for her books, and this is because they didn't agree with the way she portrayed the black community, specifically in rural parts of America. And they thought that she showed the flaws of the black community and wasn't putting them in some good light, I suppose. And it wasn't until much later with Alice Walker, who wrote an essay about trying to find Hurston's grave, and that brought a lot of notoriety back to Zora Neale Hurston. And after that, she had a bit of a fan base. And Their Eyes Were Watching God is one of her most famous books. It's a story about Janie Crawford, and she's married off to Logan by her nanny in the beginning, and then runs away and marries Joe. And then on his death, she marries Tea Cake. And during each of these marriages, she learns very valuable lessons. And in my opinion, the most valuable learning thing is just kind of learning about herself. And an example of this is arriving back in Eastonville at the end of the book. She's in overalls, and I kind of see this as like she doesn't care anymore, like what she looks like, because originally Joe forced her to be in a certain light all the time and be high class, I suppose. And I think the source of kind of why she doesn't care really was Tea Cake. She kind of teaches her that men and women are equal, because he invites her to play chess, which is kind of a man's thing, and has her come work in the fields with him as an equal, working together out there. And this is quite a contrast from Joe, who has very strict roles for women, versus Tea Cake, who is a lot more free-flowing. And it has some similarities to Logan, because Logan did go and buy a mule so that she could work in the farm field, but it's not quite the same, because Tea Cake is enforcing equality, but in a loving way, versus Logan, who she was just supposed to run the farm for him. And I don't know, it's just different. And then finally, just something that I thought was really interesting when I was doing some research afterwards on it. Joe was modeled off of Zora Neale Hurston's ex-husband or boyfriend, I'm not quite sure, but Arthur Price. And he basically just tried to stop Hurston from pursuing her dream of being an author. And this is kind of the same as how Joe tries to stop Janie from just living her life and being herself. That's all I have. Thank you.